Hi everyone, I'm Journal Page, and I've picked some colors that I want to use in the background. I've got some magenta, turquoise, black, and some sand color. And these are from the cheap store, no brand. This is just says, I don't know, Essentials. And this is Art Deco. Really doesn't matter, just picked by the color. And I want to start by using a brayer. I have here a craft foam. I find that putting my paint on a craft foam and using the brayer is easier to work with instead of some substrate that doesn't have a give. So that's the best explanation I can give. So I'm putting here some black and I'm rolling it so it will spread, and just going like this. It's quite random and I'm not concerned about covering my whole page. So I've got this. Moving on to the turquoise. I'm not waiting for this to dry. I'm not waiting for this to dry. I'm just continuing and we'll see what happens. It's quite free and not planned, and just having fun putting down colors. And you can decide that you have some direction with your brayer, or you can go however you want with it. I'm just spreading it around until I feel I have something nice to work with as a background. So putting down some of this sand color. Don't know why I have picked it. Not usually something that I will pick, but sometimes you just need to experiment with the colors. And I can already tell you that there is probably going to be more and more layers of this brayer thing until I will get the result that I'm thinking of. I think I need to replace this craft foam mat. It's just too much, use too much layers of paint on it. Okay, so now I think I will replace the mat and I will let this dry a little bit before I continue. I still want a little bit more black and a little bit more turquoise, so I will be back. And I'm back, and I've got a clean craft foam, so I'm putting down a little bit of black, and I changed my brayer to this one just because it's a little bit more narrow, so I can do small areas with the black. I'm just playing with it and having fun adding in several places. And sometimes I want like these two corners. I just decided as I went with it that they will be darker. That's it. Okay, so I like this. Now I want a little bit more well, a little bit more of the mushroom, I think. Just again in small places. Just a hint. some of it, of course, is gonna get covered when I will put some focal point. Okay, and I want a little bit more of the magenta, and I want it again small areas. And this time I'm trying for the paint to be clean without any influence from the others, so I will get a brighter magenta in several places. When I have done it before, I didn't care for anything to dry, and that's how I got all kinds of mixed shades of the color. Okay, just one more thing. I want a little bit more of the turquoise, and well, I'm debating if I want to do it with the brayer or I want to stamp. So let's do some stamping. I'm going to take the other craft mat I had, and I'm going to put here some of the turquoise, so again it won't be affected from the other colors. So my brayer is mostly clean. I'm just spreading it here, and let's see if it will work. I've got this sunflower stamp. Let's see. Yeah, maybe I need more and less spreading it on the mat, or I need a jelly plate, and if this won't work, I will take one of my jelly plates and try it a little bit better. So I just need a hint again. I don't need this to be complete sunflower, just adding details here. Okay, so now I'm just going to clean it very quickly. I don't want any of the acrylic paint to dry on my stamp. Yeah, and I'll clean it better later, just most of the acrylic paint. Let's see, I still have some paint here, so I'm just gonna clean my brayer on this piece of paper, and I will have one more painty paper in my stash. Okay, got more. Something I tried with a jelly plate, so why not use the paint? Okay, I'm gonna let this dry completely before I continue. I'll be back. I'm back. I've got here some, this is one of the stencils that I make. It's a eucalyptus branch, and I'm gonna stencil it here, and I'm gonna use white gesso. I prefer white gesso to white acrylic paint. It has a better finish, a more chalky finish, and if I decide to add some paint, then it's a great primer. So that's why I'm using a gesso instead of acrylic paint. I'm taking a makeup sponge and I'm dabbing the excess and just going gently and starting to stencil. Now, because I'm careful to not have excess paint or gesso in this case on my sponge, then sometimes I just need to go over until I'm satisfied with the outcome. If you want it completely white, you will probably need like 3 layers Don't know what is creating some kind of yellow tint here. I've taken a acrylic sponge, so I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm gonna continue, and if I need I will fix it later, or maybe take another sponge. I don't know. If it had gotten some turquoise tint, I would have understood that, because this would be not completely dry, but it has some yellow tints. I don't know why. Maybe I had something on the stencil. Never mind. Continuing. Moving along. Trying to be quick about it. I'm not concerned about accuracy. It's only part of the focal point. It's more another thing in the background. It's in between. I want some, maybe one bird, maybe two birds that are going to be my focal point. And basically this eucalyptus branch is more like giving the bird some base to be upon. That's it. So as I said, not really concerned about how accurate and crisp my stenciling is. Here we go. Okay, so the yellow tint doesn't bother me. I'm going to leave it as is, and gonna let it dry before I'm doing anything else. I'll be back. I'm back, and what I'm doing now is going over the border of what I've stenciled with a permanent black marker, and I'm going about it very loosely. I like how it looks this way. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you like precise, do precise. Whatever works for you. And almost finished going around, just to let this have a little bit more definition. So, almost done. Okay, finished with this. Now I want a bird, and I've decided to go with this one. You can hardly see it. I'll put it here. This one I'm going to use, and this is another stencil that I made. And first I'm going to stencil with the white gesso. Again, it's good primer, and my bird will be seen better on this quite a dark background. And this time I've taken a new pristine makeup sponge, so I won't have anything to get any tint like what happened with the eucalyptus branch. And I don't mind for the branch. It turned out okay. I'm not gonna fix it. I'm gonna leave it as is. But for my bird, I do want it to be white before I'm adding these colors. I've got the turquoise, I've got the magenta, whatever I've used here in the back. Only now I want them to pop and be more more noticeable. So I need a really nice base, white base underneath of the gesso. Okay, I'm not cleaning my makeup sponge. I do want it to be just a little bit lighter, so I don't mind that the turquoise will mix with the white. And I don't really have a plan about the color. I'm just gonna play with it, and well, let's dip into the magenta. Don't forget to dab the excess. So I've got one wing here with magenta, so I'm gonna just go about it like this and do the other wing also with the magenta, and I'm going over where I want it to be more prominent, the color. And now I'm just switching to the turquoise, and at least here I'm letting it blend a little bit with the magenta, so there won't be a harsh line. And it would probably, when this is dry, I will go again with some permanent marker and define the sections better. Let's see, I'm holding the stencil and just to see what's going on. I like it, so moving it, waiting for this to dry, and coming back. Okay, so I went around the shapes with the permanent marker, and I've used this the wider tip for the bird, so it would be more noticeable. And I still want more details to the background, and just a little bit to lighten it up. So I'm going to use this stencil. I think this one from Decart, and I'm going to use what I've got left here from the gesso, and just again randomly add it to my background. I'm doing it quite lightly, hardly noticeable if you're not close, but maybe I'll just add a little bit more. Yeah, it's always an act of balancing. You don't want the background to steal the focus from your focal point. Again, I'm adding it quite randomly on my page. Yeah, really liking what's going on here. Just a little bit more. Bear with me. Isn't it boring watching someone else doing the same thing over and over again? Like stenciling the same thing or gluing pieces of paper. Okay, a little bit more here, and I need more of the gesso. Yeah, and maybe I'll do this smaller one here. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Just doing it as I go. There was no plan. I'm thinking that, yeah, this is it. I like it. And as you can see, I'm just adding some dots in several places. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Like it. Now I just want to add some words here. I've got this push your boundaries, even if it's just in terms of your color combination. So a little bit of glue stick here. I hope I'm putting it straight. Okay, and just a little bit more. Yeah, just underneath and to the side like shadow. I really like it. I'm leaving it big. It's time to leave this, not add any more to this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments below, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.